Welcome to the Single Society. My name is Jo, and this is the podcast where we're exploring all things singles life from a positive perspective. Being single is a perfectly valid choice, as of course is being open to meeting the right partner. Now, for those of you who fall into the latter camp, you will be pleased to know that I also run singles nights as well as releasing these podcast episodes. And you have found yourself in the middle of a 7-part series showing you the behind the scenes of singles nights, particularly looking at common mistakes that I see people make. If you haven't heard the other episodes in this series yet, you may wish to go back and listen afterwards, and I would definitely recommend following or subscribing to this podcast so that you're in the loop with the rest of the episodes in this series, and of course others as well. It's not all about singles nights. There's lots about standing up for yourself and the decision to be single, going on solo dates, solo travel, lots coming up to enjoy. So, thinking about today's episode though, we are still focusing on the behind the scenes of singles nights and those common mistakes that I see people make. Now, I've touched on a few in previous episodes, so things like it's a mistake to downplay where you're there, it really is, or not asking questions of people, another classic mistake I see people make. Today, I wanted to talk to you about the danger, if you like, the danger of sticking with people you know at the event, or sticking with people that you make friends with very quickly as soon as you arrive at the event. Now, I should say the vast majority of people come to the events that I run by themselves. And I would also say, and I try very hard not to use gendered language in this podcast, but in this instance, it's just sort of a fact, I'm not making a judgment on it. It is true to say that like 98% of men come by themselves. It's incredibly rare for a man to come with a friend. I am in no way discouraging you from doing that. Please, by all means, come as a group of single friends or with one other single friend, but it's incredibly rare for men to do that. It's like I can almost, I've been running them for a couple of years now, and I can like almost list the occasions when that has happened. It's more common, but still not the norm for women to do it. So I would say it's like with women, it's like a substantial minority, in that at most events, there'll maybe be a couple of women who've come together, or maybe like two pairs of two, so four that kind of know one another in some way. But still, the majority don't know people, and that's great. I actually think that there are advantages to coming by yourself, although of course if you're in a group of single friends or have a friend that's single, it is fine. It's whatever works best for you. Even for those that come by themselves, though, what I see happening quite a lot is that people will arrive, you're very naturally nervous, that's very human, it completely makes sense, and you will start chatting. Often, people will initially want to chat. If you're a woman with another woman, if you're a man with another man, there's just sort of like the comfort in that, and you want to make a pal, you want to make a friend and kind of bond with them so that you're in the space together. Now, that is so understandable, and I think there are advantages to it. Certainly, part of what I want to create in the singles nights that I run is safe spaces for you to meet somebody at a similar age and a similar stage of life to yourself. And if you are predominantly there to meet more single people in your local community, then great, by all means, use the event for that. However, it is also true that most people are coming to a singles night at least open to the possibility that they're going to meet a partner. And I suppose at the other end of the spectrum, I will also have people coming who that's their reason. That's, they're really, really hoping that that person that they're going to date is going to be at the event. So the danger in sticking with who you know, as in that could be a friend you came with or a friend you made at the very start of the night, is that you end up kind of closing yourself off to meeting other people. And you've done it because it makes you feel more comfortable and more confident, which is very natural. But it also has the unintended consequence of making you less approachable. I'll explain what I mean by that a little bit more. Now, again, I've really tried to avoid any gendered language in these episodes so far, but I almost can't take it out of the dynamic here because it is just a really prominent pattern I see at events. This does happen most often with groups of women, and I'm really not judging. I'm a woman. I've been to events where I've not known anyone. I'm the same. Please believe me when I say that I really do get it. But what will happen is women will kind of form a little group, even if it's just like two, three, four of you, and you'll chat with one another. And I get it because it makes you feel more confident, but it's then really hard for blokes to come over and talk to you. Even sometimes, because the thing is, I'm going to be seating people on the same tables and swapping everyone round tables. But even sometimes at the same table, if you turn away from the guy next to you and talk to the woman sort of diagonally across, it's really hard then for somebody else to cut into the conversation. So, what's kind of a comfort blanket initially can quite quickly end up sort of defeating the point of the event for you. For those of you who know Harry Potter, I'm obviously from England, from Northern England, as you might be able to tell from my accent. But I mean, I think Harry Potter's pretty famous all over the world. There's the brilliant bit in Goblet of Fire, and I am actually picturing the film here more than the book, although I'm sure it's in there as well. But there's that iconic line where Harry says, is it Harry? Is it Ron? Somebody tell me in the comments who says this. But one of them says, why have they always got to travel in packs? And they're talking about women and how hard it makes to ask one of them to the ball because the women are always in groups, chattering away, and it makes it quite hard to interrupt and ask them out. And I laugh every time I see it because, despite the fact I now cannot remember if it's Harry or Ron, I'm so sorry. As I say, let me know in the comments, is it Harry? Is it Ron that delivers that iconic line? Why do they always travel in packs? But that is genuinely what I see at singles nights happen time and again. Now, I'm not saying don't make friends with other people, please do. It's just about once that kind of initial phase of the evening is through, please do make an active effort to go and to talk to other people. I will help with that. Or if it's not myself at the event, one of my event hosts will help with that to the extent that we can, in that we will break up tables and swap people round. We'll bring you back together again so you'll always get a chance to meet up. But don't just stick with those that you know or got to know right at the start. The whole point of the event is to enable you to meet as many new single people as possible. So, hopefully, this has been helpful for you. If you'd like to see more of the behind the scenes when it comes to running singles nights, please do subscribe or follow along with this podcast. There's lots more coming up for you very soon, and I'll see you in the next episode.